Welcome to today's episode of the Inside Podcast. I'm joined by the great host, as always, CMO Seth Gorton, and I myself and Michael. And today we're going to speak about a topic that most marketers and I think most business owners have never actually heard of, and that's the world of location ads. Welcome, Seth.
Thanks for having me, Mikey. Location ads, a very exciting topic. To the layman, what are location ads?
So I think maybe I'll give the background because I think it best describes it. So for many years, we've dealt with retail clients or retail customers who are retail first and e-commerce second, meaning that the majority of the revenue comes from their brick and mortar retail businesses, and they have e-commerce as a revenue driver, a supplementary business, but it's usually just in terms of revenue terms, between 5 and 10% of their overall company revenue. So for many years, we've been trying to find a way that we can actually almost draw a connection between what happens online and the in-store retail sales that they experience offline. So how can we actually use digital, and how we can actually measure the effect of digital on their in-store retail performance? And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Amazing. What are some of the use cases? Like, what type of businesses have we experimented this on with? Sure. Good question.
Sure. Tough start. Here we go. Maybe let me share, because I think it'll if the guys that are viewing, I think it's useful. If not, I'll try and describe it as best as I can without one looking at a screen. All right. So in terms of the use cases, we've done it, or we've run this for any business that has a retail presence and has customers frequenting their retail presence. So everything from restaurants to actually any stores in a mall that are selling any types of goods. Any business where your customers are coming on an ongoing basis, and the more customers you have, the better for your revenue. This is something that could work. So what I'm doing now, I'm just sharing, I'm using McDonald's as an example. And if I go into McDonald's, just choosing a random location of theirs, what you'll find, I'm just using Google My Business or Google Maps here, is that every location on the internet has what we call a unique location identifier. So in this case, this is V36P plus 2G. And what you're able to do through location ads, you're able to market to people in the vicinity of this, and that's nothing special. Pretty much every platform can do that. But the more important part, and really the point of how location ads is you can create a little geotag or geolocation at the specific location, and you can actually measure, do people see your ads, engage with your ads, and then actually walk into your location. And that output, that final metric that you're getting, that you're measuring, is something called footfall. So you can actually measure how many people actually step foot into your retail location. And from there, you can do in some cases, assumptions of how much revenue that generates, and how much online is affecting your offline business.
Awesome. So then how would you go about setting something like this up?
The actual ads are displayed in a few different formats or a few different mediums. So you can actually run now Facebook, and it's quite new. You can run Facebook and Insta ads on Facebook itself. And in the old days, you used to have what they call a brick and mortar conversion location measurement, where you could actually do the same thing. That Facebook has since removed it, but now you can actually have basically like an add-on in Facebook and Insta, which allows you to actually measure this offline conversion. So your ads would actually be placed on Facebook and Insta, and you'd measure how many people then walk into your store on that. And then on separate to that, you have all these things called these DSPs, which are basically like demand side platforms, where you can actually run your ads across the internet. So similar to where you'll see Google display ads, if you go to a website and that website has space for ad inventory. So if you go to a news website, any pretty much informational websites, that's not a brand website. They usually have ad placements where you'd usually see Google display ads. You can actually place ads there, and then again measure the output of people clicking on those ads from a footfall point of view.
Awesome. And then would you say that it's necessary for guys to have multiple locations to take someone, or to take us or anyone that's providing the service up on the service? Like, do I have to have 3-4 locations, or will I see a benefit from even just I have one single, or I have one retail store? Will I see a benefit of tracking my footfall coming into my store? if I'm the owner, I'm sitting at the store and I can see how many guys are
Yes,
coming in. Is there
yes.
actual, is it worth having that
Actually,
metric
yeah.
set up?
So even if you're Seth that owns Seth's Soul Kitchen and you only have one location, it does make a difference. Every location is independent. So yeah, it makes no difference. I mean, if you have 1,000 stores or one store, you can still measure that store independently, and even to the point if it's in a shopping center or if it's in a mall, and these location identifiers are extremely accurate. They say accurate to 10 meters, and pretty much most of our locations that we do this for are in a shopping center where you have hundreds of thousands of people walking past their stores, and a whole bunch of people that are probably walking on the outside of the stores looking in and not going inside. And the measurement is accurate to actually measure people entering the store itself.
Awesome.
And maybe just kind of a quick overview of how it's done. It measures people's GPS on their cell phones. It is anonymous, so it is POPI compliant, marketing compliant, cookie compliant, whatever you want to call it. So it doesn't infringe on people's personal information. You do get anonymous data of this many people walked into your store, and then you can make some revenue or return assumptions from your marketing efforts.
And what are some like real world examples of it, like how we could use this as a strategy to go against, my biggest competitor? Say I'm a car dealership brand. Can then I go and target guys that are walking into, say I'm Audi, my biggest competitor is BMW, we're serving a similar market. Can I go and say I want to target all the guys that walk into BMW? I want to see as soon as they walk in there, I want them to see my Audi ads, and then they come into Audi. Is that if I get that correctly?
Yeah, so that's actually the most common use case, the poaching use case. So I'll go through like pretty much all the three use cases that people use it for, or how one can use it. So one, you can do the most simple way is to do pure like geolocation around your store. So if you say, let's use McDonald's as an example, you can do 5Ks around McDonald's. Anyone that enters that geolocation will see your ad. Use case number two is almost to take that location data but enrich it with further data. So you can say anyone that's gone into your 5K radius location but also is interested in, let's just use a Facebook example, they're interested in McDonald's, maybe they like the page or anything like that. You can create this type of union where they have to have a location, something from a location point of view has to be ticked off, but they have to have also an audience requirement that actually puts them into the audience. And then the third location, what you're talking about now, is just like you can, at the end of the feedback loop, measure how many people walked into your store. You can use that geolocation from an audience targeting point of view as well. So you can essentially put little geolocations around every KFC if you're McDonald's, and anyone that walks into those stores can actually form part of your audience, and now you can market to those people. So from a competitor sniping point of view, there's probably no other like marketing medium as aggressive at capturing your competitors' customers as location ads are.
Well, I'd maybe argue that Google ads, bidding on my competitor's brand name is also
Maybe.
quite,
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah,
That's quite
yeah.
aggressive. Yeah.
That's
This
very
is more
aggressive.
subtly aggressive.
This is aggressive without people knowing it's aggressive.
Yeah. This is a clandestine aggression of the highest order.
And yeah, who is obviously we're at site are offering this. Do you know of any other guys in SA? I know it's been quite a big. Lots of guys take advantage of location ads internationally, and then we brought it into the SA market. Is there any other guys that are doing it?
I don't actually know. I mean, I think every company that we've engaged with hasn't heard of it before, so I don't think it. I'm sure there are one or two guys that are doing it or bringing it to South Africa. I think overseas it's already very popular. I think it's like a core marketing avenue that pretty much retail locations all take overseas. And yeah, I think it's quite interesting as considering that retail is pretty much always retail first company's biggest avenue. I think it's an important avenue to explore with us or anyone else.
Amazing. And then in terms of like an omni-channel approach, obviously I'm running Google ads or I'm running Meta, Facebook, Instagram ads. How can I then integrate? Obviously now with the integrations between Facebook and Instagram and location, what are some other use cases of how I can integrate my channels together? in a non-creepy
Yeah, I
way.
think,
And I've noticed you walked into this
yeah,
store, and then I sent you an email.
yeah. I think like to remove or downplay the creepiness, it's important to maybe not. I mean, sometimes you can go as aggressive as this, but to almost not mention in the ad, "Hi, I've seen you been in KFC. Come to McDonald's." Like you want to almost, be a tone down the aggression of your message. But the nice thing is of any outbound messaging is that it's an outbound message. So it's not viewed as almost like a direct marketing. It's not an email, it's not an SMS, but it's almost where they are when they're there. So you can be up in people's faces pretty much all the time without that frustration of, geez, you guys keep sending me stuff, because again, they just kind of see you ever present without actually almost recognizing that they're in this niche audience that they're being targeted. They're assuming everyone else is seeing this as well, pretty much.
Yeah, so the same as like any other advertising on any social platform, like push marketing,
Correct.
putting it in front of guys.
Correct.
And you know,
Correct.
okay, so almost like from face value, you wouldn't know that it's being triggered because I walked into McDonald's or KFC.
Correct. Unless in your ad you kind of spoken to that, but yes.
Well, I guess if you were selling this as an ad, you could say, "Hey, I noticed you did this. I could do this for you."
We should actually try that. It'll be quite a cool ad.
Good. Yeah, we should.
All right, Seth.
That's awesome. And that's a wrap on today's episode. If you'd like to test out location ads for your retail business, drop us a comment down below or reach out to us via our website. And we'll catch you next week on the Inside Podcast.